It's no secret that our rear mudguards have been copied now by many different companies. Came across this cheap and cheerful minimal type mudguard, which is attached with these stays here. Often thought, could we do something like this? Maybe a little bit less obtrusive when you look at it. So I bought one. I'm going to try it today. A little bit concerned as everything has been tightened up as much as I possibly can, and there's still a lot of play. So could well be taking my life in my own hands, taking this down our trails here on the local. But let's give it a whirl and give it a go. So it was a quiet Sunday morning over on the local Mudhugger hills. Trail conditions were pretty much perfect after plenty of rain earlier in the week, but after a dry Saturday the trails were almost dusty again. So this wasn't going to be a test of how effective a rear mudguard this was, but just how long would it last before it broke. As you can hear, it's pretty noisy over the roots and drops. Based on the noises coming from behind me, I wasn't really expecting the mudguard to survive the first descent. So I was somewhat surprised that it was still in one piece at the end of the first downhill. So it was back up the hill to smash out some more laps. For the sake of the edit and your sanity, I've speeded them up a little bit, just a tad. If this was an official trail centre, our local trails would be probably graded at red. A few small drops and jumps, but mostly it's just flowy single track, with a few steeper sections, but nothing particularly technical. This is where we ride every Thursday night, and where we tested the very first Mudhugger prototypes back in 2012. Back then, Mudhugger was just a garage hack to make sure we could sit inside the pub instead of having to sit outside in the cold with the smokers for our post-Thursday night ride beers. Don't forget, this was before every pub had a fancy covered outdoor smoking area, of course. And here's a fun fact for you. We must have spent about £12,000 on beer at that pub over the last 12 years or so. That's almost enough for an S-Works Levo. Almost. Anyway, back to Sunday morning and smashing out the laps. The test mudguard was holding up okay until not sure what's broken, but something's gone. Let me take the camera off and we'll have a look. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong. Difficult to tell. Is it? Have these come out? No. Oh. Okay, so that's where I positioned it. That's where I set it. You tighten these bolts up here. Top ones are fine, but these have either come loose or the little ratchet, plastic ratchet, has worn out. Let's I'll get the Allen key out and have a look. It was literally the little bolt here had come undone. You see now that that's back in its proper position, although having ridden it with it loose, how long is that going to last? So we'll see. I'll keep running it, see if it comes undone again, I guess. Might need a bit of thread lock on there just to stop it loosening. But that was descent number 8. So probably 15 minutes of descending in total. So not a great deal. Probably about an hour's worth of riding in total. So okay, let's crack on. Okay, not sure, maybe the little plastic has worn out already. Okay, so I'm on the homeward stretch now anyway, so I'm just going to push on down, maybe take it off. Okay, let's have a think. Unfortunately, by this time, the mudguard couldn't cope with even the smallest bumps or roots in the trail, but luckily this was the last downhill. What's going on? Okay, I think that's had its last decent outing, and that's without any mud on there. Conditions are pretty much perfect today. After last week's rain, it's dried up, it's almost dusty, but there's no mud. So as soon as you get any weight of any mud up on this part, that's only going to make this problem here worse. So I guess this would be great if you're just riding bridle-way cross-country type trails, blue trails. It's probably going to last you a few months, I guess, before something gives. But I certainly won't be recommending this for any kind of off-piste type of riding. Will I have another look at this design for us for Mudhugger? Possibly. Though I'd want, if I was going to do it, I'd be having it all the way around here, like a tiny little thing. But then these are going to be massive. These struts would have to be enormous. So let's see. I'll have a ponder.